A good evening, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to the ET Drone Home Gaming broadcast tonight for the Tyler Daniels Racing Next Gen Cup Series. And this is the regular season finale before we get into the playoffs that are going to start next week at Michigan. So we got points on the line for guys that are trying to maybe bump ahead of some others and make it into that top 16. It is a win and you're in scenario for this series. So if somebody that's below the cut line is able to get a win tonight and they're in the top 20 in points, then they could be stealing a spot. So we'll be having to keep an eye on the points. We'll get the points pulled up for you all so you can have an idea of who's looking to maybe upset the field tonight. And we're looking forward to a good race. And we got a three-man team up in the booth tonight. It's been a long time since we've done this, and it's been a long time since we've had our good buddy Jay Downham. You all know that he's our resident booth expert, as he's been doing it for such a long time, even though it's not been so much lately. So we got Jay here, we got Josh, who has obviously been with us quite a bit, and obviously appreciate both you guys being here. So how you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. Josh, how are you tonight? I'm ready to
Hey.
get this final going here.
Hey Jay, doing good. Ethan, what's going on? Doing well. Glad to be back here in the booth with Tyler Daniels Racing for some next gen action at Phoenix. It's going to be hot, so I can't wait to see what we're going to be getting down to today. Jay, good to have you here, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back up here. I did take most of the time off this season. As you saw me out there, I didn't do too well. So unfortunately, going into the finals, and I'm back up here in the booth to call the rest of these races out here and see what these boys got. And they are fast. Everybody's fast out there, and it's been one heck of a run, and it's a tough field from top to bottom. But man, I'll tell you what, we got 12 cars out there tonight. There's a lot of points on the line, a lot of movers, shakers, and I think the top 16 move on. So we're missing a few that should stir up any points if anybody doesn't show up in the later part of this. And we're gonna have a good night. Phoenix is always fun. There's always 5 lanes going down into turn number 1, but after that it turns into 1 by the time we get down into turn number 1. So it should be a fun night. Ethan, it's been a while since I've been up here. Glad to be back up here. And Josh, absolutely. Let's get this race underway and see where things shake out. And as we go into the finals of these Next Gen Series here on our Sunday Night Next Gen Series here in TDR.
Listen, you're not lying. I jumped out of the booth for a couple of the races this season, and to fill the field up. And it's some tough going out here. I love these next gen cars. I feel really confident in them, and I was finding myself cutting my teeth with some really good racers out here. So I'm glad I'm in the booth for Phoenix. I don't like that dog leg. I don't like taking it. Some people will take it and kind of forget that there's still people up there not taking it. So it's going to be some interesting, fun racing tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, we do have 100 laps tonight. It's going to be, I'm sure, some sort of strategy is going to have to be called. Somebody might take 2 tires, no tires, and try and go out to the end. But it's, you can move, you can get around, saving your equipment and trying to do the right thing and make that right call to jump forward in the standings tonight, as we now have 14 in the field. So this ought to be a fun night. Ethan, what's going on, man? What you been up to since I last been up here?
Well, I mean, still making sure that we keep the broadcast alive as best we can. I mean, it's, for anybody that's watching and, isn't quite aware of how we do things here. A lot of leagues, they pay to have someone broadcast the races for them. That's not the way we do it here. We do it all in-house. No one's paying myself or Josh or anyone that's been a part of these broadcasts. So we're putting our own time and effort in getting these done. And there's been some times where we haven't been able to have it up and running because things in personal lives and it's unfortunate that we've had to miss a couple here um, over the last month, but obviously we haven't been doing this but for so long, so it's still, it's always everything's always a work in progress, whether things are going the way you want to or not. There's always ways to make it better. So uh, you know with the way things we do here in TDR, we're working on it, but I think that it still goes pretty well.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I see we have a very strong field tonight. Dustin Scruggs is here. He's always going to be one to watch. Ryan Walter he's been running up front pretty well. The one and only Tyler Daniels is out there, and he's putting down a good fast time tonight. We got Andrew Bisnet, Bob Berlew, who's our latest winner, won the Snowball Derby, so congratulations to Bob out there. And obviously, Robert Cochran's had he's been showing some speed and a little bit of strong out there. Lonnie Mixon, he's a underdog. Kind of surprised you never know. Something should happen to the front runners. He may be there to scoop it up. He's kind of a sleeper. Dana Shepard, Mike Matherly, Chuck McDonald is another one out there who likes to save tires. He can save his fuel tires, likes to come on at the end. Dale Power, he's also another strong contender out there. And Tracy Wooten, who I was racing with, they were gained that 16th spot. Yeah, he's pretty strong. So it's going to be a good field. Jim Down was coming off a little bit of, we just got to keep an eye on him. He's been a little bit under the weather, so I know how that feels, especially being behind the race car. Maybe he'll get back in form and work his way towards the front, maybe finish in the top 10. That'd be good to see tonight. Not that it's, personal or anything, but, brotherly love. And I don't know. It's Dylan's putting down a fast time tonight. So, Dylan, Dustin, Ryan Walter, and Andrew Bisnet, and Tyler Daniels are top 5 right now and they're in practice time. So it's going to be a tough night getting around Phoenix here. And like I said, it's all going to be about patience. It's going to be about car control. It's going to be about tire wear. There's a lot of things that are going to go into the tonight, but it should be a fun 100 laps to kick off the season finale here in Phoenix.
Absolutely, and I feel like like a broken record when I say this, because we talk about tire wear an awful lot, and obviously it's important everywhere, but there's certain tracks that it just seems like it may be just a little bit more important than others, and this is one of the ones where it's definitely more important. With the you got turn 1 and 2, that's it's got banking to it, but it is relatively flat, and when it's relatively flat like that, if you try to do too much with your tires and you're not turning well, some people tend to crank the wheel too much, and all that does is burn up the right front, and then you're going to have a lot of trouble getting that car to turn. And trying to get through a flat turn like that when the car doesn't want to turn, you're just going to be so slow. You're going to have no momentum going down the backstretch, and that's where we're going to start to see the field start to get spread out when guys start to tear up tires like that. And then you got to question whether or not you want to be running the dog leg a lot. Is that going to do any wear trying to make that run lap after lap, or you just stay up on the track like you see most people do in the Cup Series in real life, and they only will use that dog leg when they're trying to make a move or a pass. So I think the safe bet is to stay above the yellow line, like you see those guys do it right there. Look like Ryan Walter and couldn't quite tell who that was there in the 81. Mr. Wright there in the 81. So I mean, there's going to be different ways to attack the track for sure, but long run speed at a track like this is exactly what you need to be good at in order to win, because it's not the kind of track that typically produces a lot of cautions. I mean, obviously we're seeing a lot of guys wreck here in practice, but I mean, that's what it is. It's practice. I mean, everyone's trying to get everything they can, and you're pushing it to the limit so you don't have the same incidents when the race starts. And I think that we're going to end up seeing these guys spread out quite a bit, and it's just going to come down to who takes care of their car the best and who's able to be consistent and hit the same mark lap after lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's going to be times where shifting is going to play into it. You may be able to take this thing all the way through fifth gear for the first part of the run, but in order to get that thing to turn, a lot of guys do shift from fifth to fourth and run the fourth down the backstretch, down through past the start finish line, jump back up to fifth as going into turn number one, and then back down to fourth to carry and get that extra grip.
Well,
With
well,
those revolutions up, it grabs that car, settles it down a little bit more, and you're able to launch just a little bit further. Whereas in fifth gear, um, you have a tendency maybe to overdrive just a little bit because you know your limits when you hear that engine revving all the way up,
so
coming out of that turn.
speaking of the shifting, we got Ryan Walter here. We can go on board with him. He's sitting third in practice, and we can kind of get an idea of the line he's running and see if he's shifting. Of course, as I talk about going on board with Ryan, he's going to pull it into the pits, and really appreciate you taking some content away from us, Ryan. Thanks,
It's
thanks, bud.
cooperation.
Thanks,
Good job,
thanks,
Ron.
buddy.
Right?
All right,
That's
we'll go to Dustin. Dustin's right here. He's second on the charts. You
Back
lost
to
your
the shifting,
opportunity,
too.
Ryan. I'm sorry.
Going back to the shifting topic as well, if you're not comfortable doing it, that could also be a detriment because if you downshift too early, you could always kick that rear end out, as I've done many times myself in the next gen cars. But there is a fine art to the downshifting, especially at short tracks, because you don't want to upset that balance of the car or the truck that you're running at the time.
So here's Dustin's coming to looks like probably a qualifying lap here. He's in third gear at the turn 4, shifted up to fourth, shifts up to fifth now. He's going to go down into turn 1. You're going to see him downshift most likely. They're down into fourth just there.
come down that long backstretch, stay in fourth, and take it all the way up. He may or may not shift into fifth, but with that early braking system right there, you're kind of pretty much staying. I'm surprised he's jumping down in the third, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was a
Most
little
guys stay in
surprised.
fourth. Most guys stay in fourth through there, and then up to fifth as you go down that short chute.
And that was his fastest lap so far, 27:48.
So he did a qualifying run. So they are going down, and like I said, they're definitely using, most of these guys are using fourth and fifth going into that just past the start finish line down in the turn number 1 for that extra little bit, because you're able to carry a little bit more speed after you get that car turned. Coming out of turn number 4, down past the start finish line, you're able to upshift, take it as best you can, and then back down into fourth to try and help you turn. Going down in that tight little turn number 1, not really tight, but that sweeping turn number 1, it's kind of a flat. So there is a little bit of banking, like you said, but your car is going to wash up if you don't hit it just right. Another thing that Josh was referring to is if you shift too early, yeah, you can lock up those back tires, and that's really going to be an issue. So you really got to know when and where to shift and kind of use your instincts as a driver out there to feel it and know when the RPMs are at that right speed in order to do it. Josh, you were out here a little bit for a couple of these races, and I know Phoenix probably isn't one of your favorites, but what's your take on how would you approach this race tonight?
I love Phoenix. I hate racing here, but I love racing here. And I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but I like to stay off the dog leg. I don't like going down there because it just feels like it upsets these cars a little too much as opposed to the trucks. I fared well at Old Phoenix. I liked Old Phoenix a lot. That dog leg and the reversal of the track kind of skewed me from going at NASCAR Racing 2003 to iRacing. We had a new track to learn. So Phoenix and that tricky dog leg for sure. Getting into I see a lot of wrecks happening and not just here, just in any race in general at Phoenix. A lot of wrecks happening here in the dog leg area. So I like to try to tend to stay above it. Unless there's no cars around me and I know I can make up some time, then I like to cut down there. But I'm very timid going through that dog leg, but I feel comfortable everywhere else because I just try to think of Old Phoenix and I reverse it in my mind and then try to avoid the dog leg as much as I can with other cars around me. But it's a tricky track to master. There's only a few that I've known that have done really, really well here. I'm still learning it myself, and I'm excited to even just watch and learn more from some of these great drivers that we have in the field tonight.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna see a lot of them. Like I said, most of these guys that run out here tonight are anywhere from just starting out to like almost professional. You can almost take it to that level. So it's very interesting to see the dynamics that we have here at TDR. But you know what, everybody's out here racing, having a good time, and it's, as we like to put it, it's not about the win. It's about just getting out here, competing, and just having fun and just racing, because that's what everybody is at heart. It's just a racer. So we're just out here enjoying it and having ourselves a blast and getting ready to go 100 laps, as we've got 10 minutes left for these guys to put down 2 laps in qualifying. Let's see who puts it on the pole. Any guesses? I'm going to go with that number 11 car of Dustin Scruggs. He is very, very fast. He put a heck of a lap down. So I see him staying on top of the leaderboard as we get ready to roll off here in qualifying.
We did get a little bit of insider info from Paul Valsberg. Chimed in into the chat, and he said that he was planning to spot for Ryan Walter, but for some reason the spotter function was not working. But he did relay and said that it is quite loose out there on the track, so we'll see if guys end up having trouble and spinning out throughout the race. I could definitely see that being the case on the early run, but I know that on the long run, it's more than likely going to turn into very tight situations. So the car is definitely going to go through transition from the start to the finish.
Oh, I was going to go with one of my racing teammates and cohorts, Ryan Walter, to take a pole. And as I said, as you were getting done with that, Ethan, Ryan is now sitting on the pole with a lap of 27.722. So I was going to go with one of my teammates there with Ryan Walter or Dana Shepard. And Ryan Walter went ahead and did that as we were speaking.
Well,
Yeah, Ryan Walter has been very quick. He's come back with a vengeance, and ever since he got on that VR, he seems to be a little bit quicker than he was even before. So we shall see how that all plays out, as Tyler Daniels now tops them off for the pole. So
fast one, look at that, 27.608.
But we still got a bunch of fast cars out there, as only of 8 have taken a lap so far. So we shall see. But yeah, so far it's a strong front. And there's Andrew Bisnet, who also had a quick time. He was also in the top 5 up there.
Well, I want to take a quick moment and go over the point situation, because I've been trying to glance at it here just a moment, and I think we got a lot of scenarios that I think are worth discussing, and I'm not exactly 100% sure how the admin Jim Downham is going to address some of them, but I at least wanted to bring them up, so the things that we know to be looking for. It's the best way for me to kind of bring this up for everybody. Alright, so here's our point situation here. Will Weiser currently sitting at the top of the points, and he's got a very comfortable lead, so he will end up winning the regular season championship. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a little prize that's going to be coming his way from that. And the top 16 are the ones that are going to make it into the playoffs. So if we come down right now, you'll see that Robert Cochran, right here highlighted, would be the last driver in. But that the interesting thing about that is that Ty Bostic here in 70th, he's won a race. So, and he's in the top 20 in points, so he's going to actually leapfrog Robert, and that would put Robert out of the playoffs. The scenarios that we have to be keeping an eye on now is that up here in our 6th place, Devin Zimmerman has informed us that he's not going to be able to race on Sundays with us anymore, at least for the foreseen future. So with Devin not being, with us, will Jim remove Devin from the top 20, which would bring Robert back into the top 16. Another one would be Brian Boyd, who is having health issues and has not been able to race. And it's been weeks since we've been able to see Brian race, unfortunately. But another one, will they remove Brian from the playoffs and bring in another driver, which would actually bring in, lo and behold, it brings in Jay.
Well, ain't that something there?
So, but if Jay decides that he doesn't want to race, then that's going to bring in Tyler. So there's a lot of interesting situations that have to be discussed between, uh, how Jim wants to go about things, but obviously we've got things to keep an eye on. And I mean, even some of these points are close still. I mean, Robert Cochran and Mike Matherly right here, 15th, 16th, they're only separated by 9 points. So, and both of them are here tonight. So, that could be a scenario that, we need to keep an eye on. Tracy Wooten right here, only 10 points above Mike and 19 points ahead of Robert. And there are stage points at the half. So, it's possible to potentially gain those points if Robert has a really good race. So I know that could potentially be confusing for a lot of people, a lot of different scenarios, but that's what we have, and we're going to do our best to try to keep an eye on things, and um, obviously it'll all get situated, and we'll find out in due time who's going to be transferring over into those spots.
Absolutely. That's definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye on, because if you have two drivers that are not going to be able to race, that may move the one that is definitely got the win. You win and you're in, so he'll be in for sure. Even if it played out the 16, he was out of the 16, he did have a win and you're in. I believe that as long as he remained racing for most of the season, he was already guaranteed a spot, so it might have been tied out for the 16th position, maybe add an extra driver in that case scenario. But like you said, I mean, there's just a lot of things that the admins are going to have to look at, and I'm sure we'll have an update, and we'll definitely have it for you next week when we go to our next race. Who's got what, who's where, who's in, who's out, who's up, who's down, and like you said, there's 18 cars out here tonight that I did see actually take practice time. I see 14 have actually taken a lap for qualifying, and yeah, I mean, if you can get around just enough from the top 10, they do receive stage points. So you add all that up, that's that extra little bit of pointing system that can either make or break a season. We've seen it before. It's pressure packed. It's Phoenix. It's hot in the desert. It's fun. And we're about ready to go racing here in about 2 minutes, 27 seconds. We're about ready to create up, call that green flag. And we'll be set racing for 100 rolling laps of Phoenix, where multiple strategies are playing out. Multiple people are definitely going to be racing it out. I'm sure strategy is going to be the main key. Who's going to follow the leader? Who's going to come in early? Who's going to come in, try and get outlast it, and maybe catch a caution and catch the field a lap down? I mean, so there's just so many scenarios that can play out tonight. And you never know. These cars are loose, so you know that there's potential for cautions. And that's another thing that we got to look out for. Who can move up, who can move down? I mean, there's so many scenarios that we got going on here that it's going to make our job up here in the booth fun, calling it all to you. Yeah, hello out there, everybody in YouTube land, and I do see Sharon just checked in, so hello, Sister Suki. Glad to see you out there and supporting us up here in TDR, and Mr. Paul Vosberg and Ginger, and I see Josh has been answering some people, so it's definitely going to be one of those nights where it's all on the line, it's all or nothing. People who have nothing to lose may gamble everything. People who don't have anything to lose may take it easy and just say, look, I'm already guaranteed a spot. There's no sense in racing this guy. Let him go and live to fight another day. And who's going to give room, who's not going to give room. So it's fun here at the ET Drone Home Gaming Network, TDR Sunday Night Racing League. How's things been going for you over there too, Ethan, and out there at ET Drone Home? You been busy? They been keeping you busy for the holidays?
Yeah, everything's been good. I definitely can't complain. I was just gonna throw in a quick little apology for having to pull off the screen there for a moment. It looks like the software needed to have a quick little reset. It was looked like it was acting a little funky and whatnot. So, but yeah, I definitely can't complain. Everything's been good. Still enjoying all the racing as always, and I mean that's pretty much about it.
Right? Looks like everybody who took a qualifying lap is going to get their qualifying lap in. So we should see the gridding here in just one moment. Josh, any final words before we start a green flag? Get rolling here.
Mash that subscribe button, hit the like, share the feed. Let's get some more subscribers here at ET Drone Home Gaming as we are set to grid up behind the iRacing pace car. We're going to have some hot heated action here tonight, boys.
Absolutely, and it looks like Dylan Banks sits on the pole this evening with a time of a 27.324. Behind him is Tyler Daniels in second at 27.608, so he bests him by 3/10 to gain the pole. So there's your top spots, and I'm sure we have a gridding situation coming up. And if Josh, you want to call the rest of the field on how they lined up after 1 and 2, go ahead.
Absolutely. So finishing up in the third and fourth, we have Ryan Walter. We have Andrew Bisnett in the 69 machine lining up behind them. We have Ty Bostic in the 22 and Dustin Scruggs in the 11th. That's for the P6 spot. 7th spot, 66 of Bob Burlew. And the 8th spot goes to 04 of Chuck McDonald. 44 of Dana Shepard in that DEP Racing Machines pulling up the P9 spot. Dale Weiser in the 30 is holding the 10th spot. You got your brother Jim Downham in the 28 car holding up the 11th spot. 13th goes to Mike Matherly in the 21 machine. 27 car Tracy Wooten has the 14th spot. Jason Ricker in the 9 holds up 15th. Double O Will Weiser in the 16th spot. Lonnie Mixon in that 58 machines in the 17th. Robert Cochran in the 90 is in the 18th spot. Les Benz in the 68 car in the 19th spot. And pulling out the rear of the field, we have the 81 of Gary Wright. Big field. Nice big field tonight. 20 cars. We're getting ready to roll out behind that pace car.
And some race info for tonight. It's a 1.01 mile oval racetrack. Track temp is 72 degrees, so relatively cool. 100 lap race. Fuel, they can go anywhere from 90 to 95 laps on fuel, so fuel not really going to be much of an issue at all tonight. It's going to be mostly about tires. Pit road speed 45 miles an hour, and they got unlimited sets of tires, and everyone has one fast repair.
As we get rolling here, these guys are warming up their tires. What is the track temperature tonight?
We got 72 degrees.
So it's a rather cold track, so these guys are going to be slipping and sliding because these tires do not like the cold, that is for sure, as we've seen that in our practice session as we're rolling down that long back stretch. Here is one of the most odd pieces. It's almost like the old Bristol where the car goes down the back stretch and you got to go, and it seems like it takes forever to get back to the start-finish line before they take the green flag, but as they enter that tri-oval there, going down into the dog leg, they're going to enter the Geico restart zone, and we are underway 100 laps as Dylan Banks leads them down in the turn number 1, taking that low side along with Ryan Walter, as we've got, looks like the number 11, Dustin Scruggs on the outside. Tyler Daniels takes that high side. Oh, we got him loose, right? The leader goes up and smacks Tyler Daniels, and that's straight off of turn number 1. Caution is not being called, so they're going to keep going, so that's going to fall back, and that's going to give the lead now over. So that was a huge mistake going down. There's tires on there.
We'll do a quick little rewind here so we can see exactly what happened.
We have another incident happening. Tyler Daniels and Dustin Scruggs get together. Caution is on the track, so Tyler Daniels did go down in turn number 1, spun up, and did get into Dustin Scruggs. So there's a couple of fast guys that really got together in front of this field, and it's one of those nights, boys. I'm telling you what, it's going to be fun as we go lap number 2.
That's part of the dog leg right there. I mean, it's just guys trying to be really aggressive and shortcut, trying to get past guys, and Bob and Tyler, there's some misjudgment between those guys, and unfortunately, obviously we're going to see a lot of fast repairs being taken already here within the first 5 laps.
Yeah, it looks I'm following the 11 of Dustin Struggs coming down. Looks like he is going to come in. He's missing the whole front clip of his car. He missed pit. He's going to have to back up. He missed his pit a little bit. That'll set him back. But I'm assuming he's going to take his fast repair now, as well as you were just saying. A few more cars down here in pit road. Looks like we have Tyler Daniels in here. We also see the 11 car pulling off. So we did have some people take some fast repairs already, Ethan.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of quick takers there, and then during that replay there, it does look like Tyler Daniels went, and Bob Berlew was right there, and I think it either scared or bounced Tyler right up into that outside wall and just collected Dustin Scruggs. Nothing Dustin could do right there.
Yeah.
And then there was another car that was right there involved in that.
Yeah, as well, the 00 Will Weiser looks like he was just in pit
Will
road
Weiser,
taking
so
4 tires, so he might have needed a fast repair. The 21 is also in there as well.
And that was absolutely unfortunate for Tyler because he was almost like a magnet there. Those first 2 laps is having the issue there going into turn 1 and then getting collected there off the front stretch going into the dog leg. But
and I'm wondering if there was any damage to that front clip from, or maybe to the suspension there and that during that first hit, because it looked like when Dylan got up into Tyler, I mean, he collected him pretty hard in that safer barrier. I mean, they call it safer, but it might have done some damage, and maybe Tyler was just trying to hang on. Maybe it didn't give him a meatball, but just enough to throw it off, where just give him a little bit more trouble heading down in that dog leg, especially going across, because that's not a fun transition. I mean, that car does bounce around a lot when you go on that dog leg, and if you don't hit it just right, I mean, you know that suspension is working, and that car will get upset and bottom out. As we look at Ryan Walter and Andrew Biznett have moved up. So Ryan Walter, who you had called, that's your teammate there, had a pretty quick lap. Going back to the green here is going to take him down to the green flag here. As we're working lap number 5 as the pace car dives down on that back. Long pit road. This thing is so long. I think the pit road is longer than the racetrack, I'll be honest with you. As we work around here. Sometimes it feels that way.
It sure does. Especially when you're needing service or you're not getting up there fast enough. Yeah, absolutely agree with you.
As we're back to green on lap number 6 at the green because they cross the stripe. Lap number 6 here is Ryan Walter now. Dive down underneath there. And looks like Chuck McDonald has jumped out to the outside. Andrew Biznett takes that high side. And then number 22, Ty Bostic is right there. Ty also is, I believe, he had a win on the season. So he's in just trying to put it up there, maybe get another win and just secure his spot so he can not just have to work his way in on a win. But Ryan Walter holds him off going down in turn number 4 out of that long straightaway across our finish line. And looks like Ryan Walter is going to maintain that lead as Ty stays high. And then there you go, Dylan Banks, who had that early spin, got his car under control. Now he's back up there fighting underneath. He's going to go low side, look underneath there.
Taking a look there, yeah, you're right.
And there goes Andrew Biznett. So maybe what Biznett maybe got a little bit of loose coming out of turn number 3 there and like drove the car down. A good save. I thought maybe he was diving underneath, but it just could have got loose. So now we see Ryan Walter going that high side. He's going to try and block, but here underneath that's going to give a run to Dylan. Dylan's back up front now pushing for the lead. Let's see if he can hold it down there. Going out of turn number 2 and 3 down that back stretch. He's going to get on the inside. Just keeps it off of, oh, that car got out of shape a little bit, and Ryan maintains and goes back to the front. So a lot of action up here in the front of the pack as we've got Ty Bostic there, Andrew Biznett, Ryan Walter, and Dylan Banks. Dylan's just like really using that dog leg, and he's doesn't quite clear him there. Now he's got that clearance if he wants to slide up, but it looks like Ryan's going to give him that plenty of space. So now it's back Dylan to the front, who was our pole sitter. Ryan gets loose
Ryan,
coming down.
oh, he's not able to.
Oh no, he's got loose coming down, and
that whole did too as well. Bob Berlew will get by. Looks like the 66 got by okay in the 04, but man, was that catastrophic there in the front.
Yeah, that not good to see, especially with the leaders that are going on. But man, Dylan was giving a fight there. Ryan just got out of position, got that car loose. You could just see him fishtailing it down, trying to collect it. And he was talking about a little bit loose earlier, so there's another one there who might be the next one down to take his quick repair for the night. So a lot of the top cars on the evening have all taken quick repairs. That's going to mean being very, very cautious for the next. What lap are we working here? I think we're up to work with 10. So
Yeah, we're
90
working
laps.
at
So we got
nine.
about 90 laps. But this goes into question now, Josh and Ethan, that if we were to, you said 90, 95 laps on fuel. If we get some early cautions, we could probably go all the way on fuel. Do you think anybody out there is going to be brave enough to not pit and try and go out there? Because, I mean, you did have a couple of cars did go down on lap 2, and it's not going to be that much of a difference come later on in the run.
As of right now, I don't think we're going to see any of the leaders come down pit road. I don't think, and I don't believe that anyone is going to have any intent whatsoever of going the full race without taking tires at some point. Um, the only scenario that's really going to happen is if we were to go green the rest of the way. Otherwise, you're going to see guys take tires. I mean, I think if we can get at least to lap 25 to 30, I think anywhere in that range, you're strongly going to consider taking tires at that point, because if you don't take tires and others do, and there's that possibility that we go green for 60, 70 laps, and you haven't taken tires and other people have, um, you're really going to be hurting. Those guys are definitely going to get by you. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So it's all just going to be based on the cautions that we have. Obviously, we've already had two really quick ones. Maybe we'll see if these guys settle down a little bit. Obviously, Ryan Walter himself said it was loose, and we just saw him get loose and spin out. So again, strategies change as the race plays out, and that's all we can do at this point is just watch and see what happens, and we'll make our guesses on best strategy as it unfolds.
I see one car out there who has probably the only one that I probably know that will try and push it out. If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be sitting there in the second position. That would be Andrew Bisnet. He has been known to try some crazy stuff like that. So we shall see. That's about the only one that I know of that would be willing to do it. But right now, we did have just about 11, 12 cars actually pit in between going down and the yellows and cautions that we've had. Dylan Banks, Andrew Bisnet, Bob Lou, Chuck McDonald, Dana Shepard, Robert Cochran, and Dale Power have not pitted as of yet. The rest of the field has come down, whether it was on the first stop or that last stop. So we're looking at and then you got Will Weiser fighting back up there, so he was involved in that first incident.
And he last hit on lap 3, so he may be another one that may try to push it to the end as well, because he did pit earlier before that. Now he's running up in the 5th spot, so it could be an absolute possibility.
And like I said, a lot of these guys are now used up on their fast repairs, so we shall see. But here we go. Lights out on the pace car, entering turn number 3. Down in the Geico start finish zone, and they're off and going, and Dylan gets one heck of a jump there. Andrew, I'm not sure what happened there, but man, looks like Dylan got shot out of a cannon. He got a big lead. He's got at least a 5-6 car length lead going down into turn number 1 and turn number 2, and there is that third car. I mean, it looks like Chuck McDonald got up there and got in front of Bob Lou right now, so is that Will Weiser right up there? Will Weiser got around, so he's pushing his way to the front now. He moved up a couple of spots there off that jump. Nice jump, got into 3rd position, so now it's Dylan Banks, Andrew Bisnet, Will Weiser, Chuck McDonald, Bob Lou. That is your top 5 as we hit lap 15. And man, Dylan had one heck of a start, guys.
Looks like caution's out. Jim Downham, Dale
14,
Power.
Yeah, 28. Also,
looks like the number, yeah. The 68, the 14, and the 28. So it looks like Jim Downham, Lonnie Mixon, and Dale Power were involved in that last incident.
Yeah, trying to get a good idea. It looks like maybe Jim gets loose here. Yep, that's exactly what's happening.
Yep.
The way that he attacked that dog leg, it's notorious for that exact spot that he was in. Just caused him to get loose, and we've actually got the 14 did the exact same thing. You see him coming into the your screen right there.
Yeah, Dow Power there.
He just ended up getting loose in a different spot higher up. You see Jim
And then Jim comes
coming
across
up right
the track.
here,
He's just.
Yeah, he just.
but unfortunately there for
Oh man.
for
So,
Lonnie, it absolutely
Yeah, Lonnie
destroyed.
had nowhere to go. He was just
Yep.
Jim was hard on the brakes trying to keep that car straight. Yeah, I mean, Lonnie had nowhere to go with that.
So here we are, lap 16, and I still don't think we're going to see anybody pit. I still say that it's too early. We keep getting all these short cautions, and we're not really tearing up the tires at all. Obviously, track position right now, you're seeing what's happening back in the field. If I'm up front, I want absolutely nothing to do with what's going on back there, so I'm staying up front where it's safe.
Yeah, but don't forget though, the first couple of cautions came from the front, from the first two. So you got to figure in between Dylan getting up there and upsetting Tyler Daniels, and then Ryan Walter getting loose, coming up there and hitting the number 22 car. I mean,
Oh, we got to
So,
take her. We got Will Weiser.
Will Weiser's coming back down pit road. Now, he was involved in that first incident, came down and got his quick repair. So we are coming up on lap 17, so about a fifth of the way through the race. So you're talking just about 85 laps, maybe 83 laps before the end of here. And I mean, if you can save your tires, work through the field, and you know everybody's going to be cycling through eventually, that'll definitely take it. Dana Shepard also came down, number 44 car, and got his pit. So it's like those are the last two on this pit stop that took it. And Jim Downham, of course, because he's obviously got wrecked there. So so Dana Shepard, Jim Downham were the last ones, and then Will Weiser as well. We're the takers on that last round of caution as we're getting back.
That was definitely. It looked like the double O had stopped for pretty much just a quick gas and go. There wasn't really much work being done on that car, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're like Ethan was saying, you're not really using too much tire right now. I mean, as far as cycle, I don't think you've had a full heat cycle on these tires, but I don't think we've got enough laps for them to even heat up to full temp and to maintain full temp. So, I mean, you're heat cycling these tires. It's hardening that compound just a little bit, so you're able to extend it out just maybe, enough laps to get you through about another 10, 15 laps out of the life cycle of it. So we'll see. There's still a lot of racing left, though. Obviously, this thing has been action-packed. People getting loose, just putting it everywhere, everything on the line. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals. Welcome to Phoenix. It's almost like Pocono meets Martinsville almost here.
That darn dog leg, I'm telling you.
It's a shortened version, I guess, of the tricky triangle up there in Pocono.
All right, boys, let's get it together.
All right, so here we go. We're going to go back, and this is going to be on lap 20. So officially 1/5 of the races will be down. We do have a stage. Is there only one stage at the 50 lap mark, Ethan? Is that correct?
At the end of lap 50, so the start of lap 51.
All right. The Geico restart zone. Looks like Andrew's holding back just a little bit. Chuck's right there, and Dylan once again gets a huge jump. So he's definitely got this one down. Oh, as we see Dustin Scruggs get a little bit sideways there, coming down. He got to gather to back up as these guys take it 4 or 5 wide down past start finish line. Dylan's got jumped out to another 4-car length lead over Chuck McDonald, who'd worked his way up. Now he's working the outside of Andrew Bizet. Going to squeeze him up there. Thought the better of it. To see him coming down that back stretch down in turn number 3 as we got Bobber Lou now looking down to the bottom. He's just following. Not sure where he's going, but he's going to stay to the high side. Chuck goes down to the low side. He's not going to get that run. May be able to clear him going into turn number 1, and there it is. So Andrew backs off just a little bit.
Big,
himself a little bit of a room.
Dude, big shout out to Chuck, doing absolutely awesome so far. I mean, obviously Chuck's been in TDR for a long time. He's not a guy that we see, run up in this area that often, so obviously we've given him a lot of props for how good of a job he's doing so far. Oh,
Oh,
Andrew got
and
loose.
the inside wall there. Oh my goodness, he gets hit by
Oh,
Walter again. Another. Will Weiser's collected.
This is
Oh
good. This
man.
this is gonna end the night for a couple guys.
Yes, because Will Weiser, Dustin Scruggs, who's involved in, again, Mike Matherly was involved in that in the number 21 machine. Biznet. So yet again, coming from the front of the field, these guys are pushing it a little bit too hard with these tires and just getting loose. And man, it's taking them out. So Dylan avoids another bullet there, but wow, a lot of these guys were involved in that very first incident with Ryan Walter and Dustin Scruggs, who was very fast. Will Weiser is another one that's very fast that got involved in that. Mike Matherly, who was looking for to get some points up there to move on and move in that top 16, took a hit there. Oh, I mean, Ryan just, man.
huge hit.
Talk about
And then,
taking out heavy hitters in this race right there. Ryan
and it
Walter, Will
was.
Weiser, Dustin Scruggs, all really fast in qualifying.
Andrew
And
Bismarck.
as we know Will's taken a fast repair already, if I'm not mistaken. Dustin took one. I think Ryan probably may have taken one as well in that incident that he had. So if they have a lot of damage, they might be done for the night.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for those guys because we all know that they're fast week in, week out. Every
Right.
one of those guys that were involved in that could have easily won this race given the right circumstances. So that's going to definitely shake up the field and shake up the points as well because with
Mhm.
even though Will is pretty much guaranteed that he's got the championship in hand for the regular season, you're still talking about Dustin Scruggs, you're talking about Andrew Bisnet, you're talking Ryan Walter, who are all up there fighting, and that could shake up some point systems. I mean, 10 points here or 10 points there, I mean, that goes a long way, especially now that we're talking some heavy hitters are going to open up the field for coming up on that halfway point for the stage points. That's going to definitely add drama to the pointing, especially lower down in between 14th to 17th position on who can get in and who can get out, especially if they can play their cards right. Maybe move up in the top five to,
Yeah.
to 10 to take some of those points away from these guys.
Yeah, and I can confirm that Will Weiser did not have a fast repair there because it was not used. Ryan Walter did not have a fast repair. Bisnet had probably already used one because they are all still sitting in pit road. The 14 did have one, so he was able to take it and move on. So I was keeping an eye on pit road as we were going through that cycle. Yeah, we do still. Will Weiser still sitting on pit road.
Well, this shakes up the field. Dylan's been quick. I mean, he has been really, really fast on those restarts there. So it's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. But I think Chuck's been sitting there watching him, and so is Bob Burlew. Bob's coming in with a huge bunch of confidence off that win from the Snowball Derby the other night. And we all know Chuck can get it done, especially against heavy hitters. I mean, he upset the McCanns in one of the big races here a few seasons ago on
disconnected
fuel.
along with Tyler Daniels, Dustin Scruggs, Mike Mallory. So we've had quite a few disconnect here. Done for the night, as
so you said Tyler Daniels, Will Weiser.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at it as of right now, I see Dustin Scruggs is disconnected, Mike Matherly is disconnected, Tyler Daniels and Will Weiser has disconnected.
So this is going to definitely open up this field for. Well, Dylan has shown speed. Chuck has worked his way to the front. He's showing like he's got a lot of speed. Bob's right there. And then don't forget, you got Ty Bostic. You got Ty Bostic, who's already won. Robert Cochran, he's sneaky. He can get you around a little bit here. So you got still a lot to look out for the other Weiser, Dale Weiser, Jason Ricker. That's another strong one up there. Dana Shepard, Jim Downham, Lonnie Mixon. They all round out your top 10. But I mean, I'm telling you what, right now, Dylan's showing he's definitely got this starting going on. If somebody can figure that out, they might give him a run for his money here coming up. But as Andrew Bisnet catching up to the rest of the field. Well, let's see if Chuck's got anything for Dylan as they go back down to take the green here on lap number 26. There you go, restart zone. Green flag goes in the air, and Dylan once again gets that strong run and just pulls away from the field. Chuck's going to go down. Last few ones, he's stayed up. This time he's going to try and follow him down. Didn't really do any justice. He pulls out to still a 6-car lane lead. But he's got that strong field coming on.
Dale Weiser was just in the wall along with a 90.
Yep. So we got another couple of Dale Weiser ended up going in the wall back there. Everybody looks like they kept going. I don't see anybody trailing along there, so we should be okay going back here. And as Dylan is now pulled out, gap is closed just a little bit, but not much, probably within 4 or 5
Oh,
car
Bob
lengths.
Burlew in the wall.
Burlew goes down. He
Oh,
hits the
man.
wall going in. Oh, man. So let's see.
It was
Yeah,
a single
he
car incident. Looks like it didn't make any contact with anybody.
No, and the
but it
green
looks
flag
like-
is in the air.
We got
Yeah,
Dale
front clip.
coming into the pits as well.
Bob Erlew, his front clip's gone. Looks like he's got toe damage. Dale Weiser's got some front end damage.
So, man.
Oh, Robert
gets
Robert
loose.
Cochran.
There's another one. There's another. Oh, man. So there goes Robert. A lot of things are happening at the front of the field. I'm not sure if it's these guys just trying to chase down Dylan and they're just getting. I mean, because I think nobody crossed that dog leg. So
It is
there you go.
the way that the banking is in that area, and you have you have that little hump. You'll watch right here, right there. You can see that they go downhill and then back uphill, and that transition right there can really upset the car. And I think that's exactly where it got Robert that time. And you know, it's just obviously it's unfortunate, but I mean it's a matter of knowing your limits, and you know, they're pushing the car beyond its capability.
Right, as we see Bob Berlew, he did get his quick repair. He's back out front. He's coming out in front of the leaders here. So right now, Bob is showing, what, 2 laps down? 1 lap down, so he's about ready to danger going 2 laps here. But he still would be Les Bentz's first car a lap down, so he would have to catch up and get around Les Benz in order to get that lucky dog position and get back on the lead lap. As we see Dylan now going underneath Bob Berlew here. And don't forget, you took new tires. That car is going to be looser than he was even expecting, and he just got loose. So he's going to be very, very timid on that throttle there for a little bit until he can get his bearings back and feel his confidence back up again. As you see Bob fading, but Dylan is pulled out to just over a 1 second, 1.5 second lead. So he's dominating the field right now. Ty Bostic, Chuck McDonald in 3rd, Jason Ricker 4th, Dana Shepard 5th, Lonnie Mixon 6th, Jim Downham 7th, Dale Power 8th, Tracy Wooten 9th, and Les Benz 1 lap down in the top 10. That's top 10 right now. As we're running lap 33, we're coming up on just about 20 or 17 laps from the stage. As you can see, we're riding aboard with Lonnie. Lonnie's going to stay in that 5th gear, take it down. He's just see him hold that steady wheel, let that car ride out turn 4 over to start finish line. Lonnie is not shifting.
Lonnie doing a great job too. I mean, he's just buying his time, you know, taking care of his car. I know he got in that one incident with Jim, but you know, they say position by attrition, and you know, he's sitting here in 6th place. You know, another guy that we don't necessarily see running up in like the top 5 area, flirting with the top 5, and you know, sometimes that's what works out, and doing a good job so far with it.
Absolutely, Uncle Nani. He's but he can get up there in the top 5. I've seen him get a couple of top 3s, so he can sneak up there. Don't put it past him just because he's, you know, out there. He's one of those steady ones who knows how to take care of his equipment there. Let's look down the back, going in turn number 3 here, and you get a good view of. It looks bigger on TV, doesn't it? Especially when you come out of the here, it
Oh,
shrinks
boy.
up in a hurry.
You're absolutely right.
When you look at it on TV, you're like, man, I got all this room, and then you get out there in the actual car, you're like, there is no room out here whatsoever to do anything.
Pretty narrow, absolutely.
Right?
There's more attrition keeps happening. It looks like Dale Weiser in the 30 car is disconnected as well. A rough night going for the Weiser boys there. We still look at Dylan Banks. He's in 1st place spot. Ty Bostic in 2nd. 3rd, Jason Ricker. 4th, Dana Shepard's moving up through the field. Chuck McDonald, 04, is dropping up your top 5 at the moment. Everybody
they're
seems
doing
to
a
be
good job.
settling down. Yeah, I was going to say everybody seemed to be settling down a little bit.
Yeah, now we're starting to get into the meat of it. So here we go. We got a lot of guys, you know, a lot of our faster guys, unfortunately, have left the session here due to incidents on track. And Dylan, he's holding. He's looking strong out there. He's very consistent. It's only fallen about 4/10 off of this fastest lap of a 27.473. Last lap was a 27.890. He is one of two drivers that has not hit pit road yet, and then the other one would be Chuck McDonald. Everybody else has seen pit road at least one time this evening. As now Ty Bostic and Jason Ricker are within a second of each other, and that would be probably the next grouping that would be racing on track here, as we see
right now
Lonnie
this is
and
the
Jim and Andrew Bisneck getting heated battle here.
Yeah, the closest battle we have on track right now is between Lonnie Mixon and the 58 yellow machine here, and Jim Downham in the 28. These guys are fighting for the 6th position right now. Jim looking inside, looks like he's going to have the preferred line going into turn 3 and shouldn't have any trouble getting by. Andrew sitting here, if I'm not mistaken, 2 laps down, trying to do whatever he can to make some ground back. Going to need some help, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to need some help, but if it keeps going the way it was going, those yellow flags should be falling, but he's going to need a lot of help because Tracy Wooten, Les Benz, Bob Berlew, and Andrew Biz net. So there's only Les Benz is only 1 lap down, whereas Andrew is now 2, so he's going to need a lot of help to get up there, and he's also going to have to get around Bob Berlew in order to get that lucky dog after Tracy.
Showing Ryan Walter back in the pits.
Yeah, we did see Ryan Walter. You did do an overhead shot of him when you were going through the field. He was out there just trying to get some, I guess, make it a points night. And right now he's in the 15th position, so he just got to put it on a few more laps to get ahead of Dale Weiser, who was in the 14th spot. So
I did say back in the pits, and I wanted to think that I saw him come back on the track, and maybe that was just my mistake, and he's been sitting there this whole time. But obviously, he's not going to be in any kind of contention for the win tonight, unfortunately.
No, he's not going to be in contention, but points. Every point matters. I mean, no matter what, every point matters out there. It's easy to give away and hard to get back. I've said that a million times, but it's very, very true. I mean, you can gain 10 points a race, and you can give back 20 the next. So it's hard to maintain that gap. But, man, right now, Dylan Banks is definitely showing his class of the field. Pulled out to almost a 3-second lead over Ty Bostic. Jason Ricker and Chuck McDonald are back there trying to chase him down. Chuck was looking in the 2nd position, looked very strong, and then he fell back now to like 9/10. So I'm wondering if maybe his car's starting to go away. Maybe use up a little bit more of his tire than he thought. But yeah, Dylan's definitely put out on a clinic here. As we see, we're watching Jason Ricker right there battling. Not really battling Bob Berlew, but Bob Berlew's sitting there just watching him go through turn number 3, coming out past the start-finish line, and he's in the 3rd position right now, chasing down Ty Bostic, who is about 4 seconds ahead. So Ty's doing a really good job as far as getting out ahead of all this. But the field is now spread out. Not really too much going on as we... there's no chance unless you're going to hit yourself and then somebody else gets tied up in it. So I think until we have either pit stops or somebody decides they're going to take out somebody else, that's about the only way that we're going to see a caution fall for the rest of the evening, as we're rolling up with 4 laps to go before the stage.
And this is exactly the kind of racing that I was expecting us to get, at least. I thought maybe it was going to happen a little bit earlier, but it just took, unfortunately, eliminating cars from the race in order to get to this point tonight. But this is just a matter of who's good on the long run and who's not. And we talked about the fact that Dylan, now he hasn't pit yet. Either has Chuck, but with these cautions, they probably have enough fuel to get to the end. So will they try to run the rest of the race out, or will anybody try to do something different? I can't imagine that going down and getting tires and going a lap or possibly 2 laps down, I don't believe fresh tires is going to be fast enough to overcome that deficit. So it's quite possible that Dylan and Chuck go this whole race without a pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, if you slow it down kind of back that turn up a little bit because you've got a huge lead. So you got 4 seconds over Ty. So you know you're pulling away a little bit. But he's really using up those right side tires by using that dog leg. You might be better off just going above that yellow line and just riding the track and using the banking to help him turn instead of trying to basically put down a qualifying lap every time. So, you know, that's definitely going to hurt the suspension. It's going to hurt those tires because they're bouncing around a little bit. So he's using up the tires a little more than I would use at this point. But hey, I guess, you know, if you're winning and you're leading and it's what got you there, might as well keep to it. But I don't know. I'd probably move just a little bit up. But right now I see Tracy Wooten move over. So yeah, I mean, we're talking 7 cars now on the lead lap. 8 cars. I'm sorry, 8 cars on the lead lap. Dale Power, Dana Shepard, Lonnie Mixon, Jim Downham, Chuck McDonald, Jason Ricker, and Ty Bostic are all on the same lap as your leader here.
58 just went around.
As Lonnie Mixon goes around, and looks like we've got the number 27, Tracy Wooten, going into the pit now. Ryan Walter's still on pit road. But our leader is coming up, and like I say, he's having one heck of a run, I'll tell you that. He's doing a great job out there. As we've got the official 51, so there is your official. So Dylan Banks, Ty Bostic, Jason Ricker, Chuck McDonald, Jim Downham, Dana Shepard, Dale Power, Lonnie Mixon, Les Benson, Tracy Wooten all gain points. As we come down to complete lap number 52. So there's going to be some shakeups there, so we shall see. Just see now, right there, see who we're riding with as Andrew Bisnet on the back of Jim Downham. Andrew Bisnet was involved in that incident. Followed back to 11, 2 laps down at Stillwater, New York. He's one of our admins, and everybody knows Andrew from, of course, the Veterans League and of course this league. So another one that can get it done given the right circumstances. But it looks like Dylan's really just putting got everything under control right now after he got his car. And that's another thing with your car being as loose as it was early in the run. Do you want to come down and get cold tires and try and risk that for the reward of just trying to stay out there and take it all the way out on older tires? I don't know. Josh, what are your feelings?
I always love to take tires. I always love stickers underneath me. But when we're starting to talk about strategy, yeah, I'm going to be pushing my tires as much as I can, saving as much as I can. And then always thinking ahead, always thinking, watching what the people in front of me are doing. And then it just comes down to these types of races with the strategy is your tire saving and your fuel saving, or if you took enough at the right time. So with watching a lot of these guys that are left on the track, I'm thinking there is a couple guys thinking that they can go the rest of the way without having to stop. And I think that's what they're going to be banking on here. Whereas I think a couple other guys are they're banking on maybe hopefully a yellow flag and taking some gas to get them to the end. So with these intermediate tracks, it's really hard to tell which way the strategy is going to go and which strategy is going to work. So I kind of have mixed feelings about it, but there's a couple guys out there I think that feel that they're going to be able to make it the whole way.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan's out front, but Ty's only 4 seconds behind. So if Ty comes out there and he's only 4 seconds behind, say he pits, but he's also on 10 lap fresher tires than the leader right now. So even though you had all the cautions in the beginning, they're kind of on an even scale right now. But you always risk going into the pits speeding, especially on this long pit road and under green. And you also risk overshooting your pit. So there's other factors that could play that out, and Dylan has got to play all that right. And if he does everything right, then obviously he'll go on to win. But if there's any mistake on that, then that could potentially leave it upset for Ty to come in and steal a win.
Absolutely can't happen because some of the people in the field are probably going to wait till the end to really push it and see what they can get out of their cars, out of their vehicles, out of the machinery, and those tires. So I can't wait. It's 58 laps down. So we're past halfway. Time will tell. Time will soon tell. 7 cars on the lead lap still.
Looks like
There is a big battle going on here. I mean, a little bit more.
I think
With Andrew Biznett, Jim Downham, and
I think Jason Ricker may have slipped up quite a bit because if I'm not mistaken, he was running there in the top 3, and now he's fallen back behind Jim and Dana. He's now back in the 6th position.
About a 20-second gap.
Maybe take a look back and see if we can find any incident on Jason here. Because, yeah, he was running right there. I mean, he wasn't really gaining any. He was just... Yes, he did. On lap 58, he got loose going down. Managed to save the car, but, yeah, I mean, he just got really loose coming out of turn number 3 on lap 58 there. Around that lap 2. Turn 2. So, yeah, he just got it sideways and took a little bit, and that just took away that momentum that he did have.
I think maybe it might have been on the next lap, and Jason Ricker's crashed now. You know, we saw that he was having a lot of issues. We're gonna follow along with the rest of this lap real quick before we go ahead and move on to Jason's crash. Just so we can see how things built up. There he is right there. You can see he's drifting quite a bit right here. Still sliding, and big slip up. Really good save by him for sure, but obviously it would just cost him a lot of time. And now we'll go ahead and take a look at the actual incident that he had here. Looks like he's going down into turn 1. The same exact incident that he had before. Same spot, having the same issue, and it's just he's already slid the tires once, and he's gone down into pit road. I guess he's probably gonna.
He is done. He is done for the evening.
Oh, he's disconnected.
He just checked out for the evening, so that's going to shake up the field now. As we're working lap number 62, coming down to nitty gritty here. 38 laps to go. Or I'm sorry, 30. I gotta find my leader here. I don't know what lap I'm working. We're lapping 60.
We're on lap 65 of 100 currently.
There you go. Okay. So yeah, so Dylan right now has got that 5-second lead, and then he's got a nice comfortable gap back to Chuck McDonald. Back in 3rd, Jim Downham now moves up to 4th. Dana Shepard 4th. Dale Power in 6th. Bob Berlew, Les Benz, Lonnie Mixon, and Andrew Biznett up in the top 10. Tracy Wooten 11th. Jason Ricker 12th. Ryan Walter is now 14th. I mean,
yeah.
But I think he is out there just getting laps, just trying to collect, I guess, position through attrition. So he's got he got enough laps to get her done if he keeps out there and keeps rolling.
Just like back in the 80s and the 90s of NASCAR racing, didn't matter how bad up your car was, you still got back out there and collected points. Now, I know the playoff system's way different now, but you still got back out there and ran. Earlier today, I did a charity race for the Toys for Tots, and I had a horrible race, but I still stayed out there, and I still kept going because you can gain those positions through that attrition of people that have already disconnected. So that's a good idea for Ryan to do that.
Oh yeah, because you can gain a point or two here. As we've been watching Jim for a little bit battle. I'm sure he was up there battling.
These guys may not be as fast as our guys that are up there more towards the front, but you got to give them some credit too, because they're with their skill levels, they're very consistent. I mean, these guys have been together on the track for a long time now, and each one of them's not getting away from another, and I think it's good to see, even though it hasn't been the most exciting race tonight, but at least that these guys are at least able to battle with each other, even though now we're seeing Dana start to step away a bit from Jim, but we're still coming up. Looks like we got about 34 laps to go, if I'm not mistaken. But
31.
yes, you were correct. So we'll see if Jim's just wore his stuff out, which I imagine is probably the case at this point if he's fallen back that far. But I don't picture that he's saving any at this point. Little wall bounce there by Robert Cochran.
Yeah, these guys are definitely out there just running. You got to give that top. Everybody who's out there is still running. I mean, you got to give it credit because you're talking some of the best that we have in TDR are all left the race. Jason Ricker, Dale Weiser, Dustin Scruggs, Will Weiser.
Big names. Big names.
I mean, these guys, even Mike Matherly, these guys are, they're not known for. A lot of these guys come from the back to the front, and they're out here. So to even hold on to the car for this long, you gotta, and especially like Dana Shepard, Chuck is just showing, his resilience. I mean, these guys are very resilient. They race each other, like you said, quite a bit. And it's good to see Jim come back off of his illness and just going top 5. So, I mean, I'm sure he's feeling pretty good in the car tonight. Probably better than he was a couple weeks ago. for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But, man, I'll tell you what, Dylan's pulled out to a 6-second lead, so Ty is starting to fall back a little bit. So even if Dylan was to back off the throttle a little bit and just start easing that car in, shifting down a little bit, he's just got to go 27 more laps, and this thing is in the books for him. Ty, all he's got to do is just hang on, and he'll be back in playoffs. Dana, Jim was solidly in the top 16. Dana Shepard, I'm not really sure where he fell. Dale Power is another one that, came back from that early incident. He was involved in a big wreck earlier. Look at him up there. So, yeah, a lot of these guys have come back, got their quick repair, slowed it down a little bit, and through resilience and patience have gotten themselves back up into a solid top 10, even top 5 position. So, looking good out there for whatever is left. So, why don't we take a roll through the field as we're watching now. Ty Bostic try and chase down 5 seconds behind Dylan. As we see Dylan there, he's been leading. He pretty much led this whole thing, just a couple of laps there in the beginning where he had to go in and get his quick repair, but found his way quickly back up to the front. I don't actually didn't go down and get his quick repair, did he? He stayed out. He's been the only one that's been out there from start to finish. Started on the pole, leading the field now with a 4-second lead over Ty Bostic. So. And there's Ty out of Rockingham, North Carolina. I'm sure everybody out there knows where Rockingham is. It's one of the oldest tracks out there, so it's good to see a Rockingham boy out there showing up. There's Chuck McDonald, our Angry Beaver out of Angus, Ontario, Canada. One of our Canadian drivers. He's been showing solid top 3 tonight, so he had a good run. Qualified 8th, is all the way up to 3rd, so good job for Chuck tonight. See him out there. There's Dana Shepard. He's one of our Vermont boys. So he's been doing a good job. I mean, he was out there racing Jim a little bit earlier and showing in the 4th spot. So to come back from those earlier incidents and show a solid top 4, I mean, definitely hanging in there and doing well. In our 5th position, we have Jim Downham, who was the most notoriety admin top dog chief out there, came off sickness, showing top 5. Good to see Jim having a good run out there. Obviously, he is my brother, so if anybody didn't know that, they do now. They couldn't associate with our last name, but he's doing well. Coming back and had those earlier incident as well with Lonnie Mixon and got his quick repair, slowed it down, so he's doing really well out there. Dale Power, there's another driver. I believe he is out of Canada as well, if I'm not mistaken, and he shows up very strong. And it looks like he has Charlie Brown Christmas on his car there, so
yep.
he's definitely got the Christmas.
I love that paint scheme. Oh, such a great paint scheme.
Running in the 6th spot, so he's having a good night tonight with all the incidents have been going on. Should have a good points night, end up in the top 5. And there's our latest winner there, Bob Earlew out of Whiting, New Jersey. That's admin number 2, as we like to call him, but he's good old Bob. Has got Rachel on the hood and got Leah on back. So there's a little doggy he takes with him everywhere, and I followed that car all this season, so it's good to see him out there and Definitely having a good run coming in 7th tonight. Been a tough night out there for a lot of them, but good to see Bob out there. Lonnie, Uncle Lonnie Mixon, one of our Mississippi boys down there, Southern boys. One of our older drivers. He's been with TDR for a while. He's having a strong run too. I mean, another top 10, showing in the A spot out there in that yellow number 58. So it's good to see Uncle Nani out there getting another good run. Holding off some of the bigger names. Going to have a good points tonight. Maybe push him up there. That'd be nice to see Uncle Nani get up there and get close to that. Andrew Biznett, Mr. Can save fuel but can't save tires out of Stillwater, New York. So he's one of our good guys here in TDR. Definitely good to see him out there. He's in a nice spot. He's 2 laps down. Needs a little bit of help here at the end, but if these guys continue to get racy, as we see now, Dylan try and get by now to put him another lap down. But yeah,
just say hi, let him on by. Just smart.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already a couple laps down. Why race the leader? You know, especially with only cars left here on the end lap. So
right. And there's Tracy Wooten. Tracy, he had a good, solid run all season long. Moved his way up, had a couple of good runs early. You should definitely see him next week in the top 16, fighting it out, trying to get to the top 12 and move on. So he's having definitely a good run tonight. Good points night. Should have collected some stage points as well, and he's finishing out our top 10, so keeps that out. And then next up is Robert Cochran. Robert Cochran. He's Ford boy through and through. He's out of New England there. He raced with Steve Park back in the day, so I'm not sure if everybody knew that, but yeah, he's came from the Steve Park camp. We always hear stories of him and Steve Park up there in Northeast and racing days, but good to see Robert out there running in the 11th position, so he's good to see him.
I used to love watching Steve Park and running the New England area.
Just want to note that car in front of Robert there. You know, Ryan Walter back out there. You know, he's been sitting on pit road all night, and he stuck with it, stayed. So you know, props to Ryan for, you know, sitting through that. Obviously, he didn't need to. He could have left. He's already, you know, locked into the playoffs. But you know, still wanted to hang out with everybody and you know, have as much fun as he possibly could.
Absolutely. It's good to see Ryan staying out there. Actually, he can gain another position and up 13th on the night. If he can stay out there, not having more incidents, he can move up and take over that 13th spot. There's Les Bentz at Springfield, Missouri. Missouri driver comes from the land of the Wallaces, and I'm not sure if everybody remembers this name, but Carl Edwards was also from Missouri. And there's Les. He's out there. He comes out and has a good time. Sometimes has a good night, sometimes has a bad night, but he always has a good night when he hangs out with the boys. Everybody loves talking to Les and having him around and putting it down, and he's doing a good job out there, holding off a bunch of guys out there in the 12th position. So got to be proud of that effort that he's got out there tonight, that old number 68 machine. And there's old Ryan Walters. Like I said, he's 31 laps down, but like I said, he's got 6 more laps. And 6 more laps, he can gain that 13th position, and that'll be about all he can get on the evening. But hey, persistence pays, and he's going to get all he can in the points. And good to see him out there keeping it up there for his team and making sure, you know, he's showing everybody he's not a quitter. He can get out there and go to the end no matter what these races throw at him, taking what he can get tonight. So good to see Ryan out there. Tough night tonight. No, it's not the finish that he's going to want, but at least he can say he gave it everything that he had. So can't really go wrong with that.
No, sir.
As we're coming down with 12 laps to go here, back up front to Dylan, who now has a 5-second lead, has not pitted this entire time. Ty Bostic did pit on lap 78, so Ty definitely has enough fuel. I'm believing Dylan does as well. So at this point, there's going to be a 6-second lead over Ty, coming back to the line for lap number 90. 10 laps to go as we go down that back stretch there, heading down back into turn number 1. Or turn number 4. 3 and 4. That gets me so confused right there. Through the Geico restart zone, past our finish line. Now we're heading back down turn number 1. I'll figure out where we are eventually.
Dog leg. It's the reversal. It's that dog leg and the reversal that they did to this track. Listen, sometimes you shouldn't change things, and I don't think they should have ever changed Phoenix. Maybe updated it, upgraded it, but man, they should have just left it the way it was. I love the old configuration myself.
Well, it's like Atlanta. They moved the front stretch to the back stretch and extended out the pit road to make it that, that tri-oval configuration. And they did the same thing down there in old Darlington where they flipped it and moved the front stretch to the back stretch and the back stretch to the front stretch. So, hey, why not? I guess change is what they called for. I don't know. But it does provide some real exciting racing in real life when these guys get out there. And as well as here in the Tyler Daniels Racing thing, these guys can get sideways. It is a simulation. So these are about as close to physics as the actual cars are going to get. As we're working lap number 91, 10 laps to go here, 9 laps at 8 at the stripe, 8 laps to go. Tile, Dylan Banks, Ty Bostic, Chuck McDonald, Dana Shepard, Jim McDonald are still your top 5. Jim Downham is 1 lap down, so something should come out, get the lucky dog, maybe be able to fight his way back up to 4th. As we're working, he's working to chase down Dana Shepard, and that would only leave 3 cars on the lead lap here at the end if he keeps it up, but he's still throwing down some pretty hefty laps. I mean, a 28.911, and Ty threw down a 28.706 during that last lap. So Ty is 2/10 quicker, but with 6 seconds, almost 7 seconds, that's a tall order to kind of make up there, especially over 7 laps. So barring any issues right now, I'm going to put this one in the Dylan Banks's. But you never know until that checkered flag falls, that's for sure.
Man, could you imagine if we got a caution here in the next couple laps? That would certainly be something.
Yeah. Then what do you do, right? Because you would have Ty Bostic.
Hoping for it. Ty Bostic.
Yeah, Ty, I'm telling you who's looking for a caution right now. That would be Ty Bostic and Jim Downham to get back on that lead lap.
Yeah.
That would be the only 2 that are hope for a caution right now. I'm sure the rest of the guys are, Chuck is right there hanging out, and he went the full distance as well, has not pitted. So in between Ty and Chuck, those are 2 of the only ones that have gone out. But man, Dylan is just, I think he put in a little bit of extra practice this week. And now he's to that high side. Yeah, I think he finally figured out he rolled out of those tires, and they're really starting to wear out because I haven't seen him dip below that yellow line heading back to the start-finish line for quite a few laps here since we last seen him. And we started going through the field. But, man, I'll tell you what a night tonight. Great racing for everybody out there. I mean, with a 20-car field, obviously, you're going to have a smaller, less chance of cautions than they all came to go. But 5 to go this time at the stripes, so we got 5 laps next time. Dylan holding on to a 7-second lead over Ty Bostic. Ethan, what do you got up there?
I think, just obviously we've just watched an absolute, all but perfect performance from Dylan. Obviously, the only mistake that he made all night was right there on the first lap, where he, seemed like he got up into Tyler Daniels, if I remember correctly, there in the between turn 1 and 2. But ever since then, he was aggressive on getting to the lead, and then once he got it, I mean, it's just he took off like a rocket. Got away from everybody, and he just continued to get further and further away. So
never look back.
He knows what he's doing at Phoenix, clearly, and I mean, it's not, nothing but props on being pretty much mistake free, taking care of tires, and I mean, that's what you're hoping to do, every week.
Right, and he's carrying a number 48 Ally machine. Does that think that carries anything? The old Jimmy Johnson days, carrying the old Ally, and
it reminds me mostly of the one of the old Mark Martin paint scheme.
Yeah, it's like the Mark Martin paint scheme with the Jimmy Johnson graphics on that car. All right, Josh, you're coming down to 1 to go this time by. Why don't you call us home?
Here we go, guys. Last lap coming around here. It's just going to take him just being consistent on this last lap to take the win. Any bobble might just have somebody here. And there's, as he comes out of that last turn, coming through the back stretch here. Brings it into that turn 3 before the dog leg. Turn 3 and turn 4. And Ty Bostic is your winner.
Dylan
Dylan,
Banks.
Sorry,
Dylan
Dylan
Turner.
Banks. Sorry, Dylan Banks. Ty Bostic is in second. Sorry, I'm looking at the right name as I'm looking at it. Don't ever do that. Put me on the spot again like that. Dylan Banks in the 48ers your winner. Ty Bostic is in second. I was scrolling through the names trying to get up to Dylan as I was doing that. Chuck
That's
McDonald led up here in third, which is a great run for Chuck. Dana Shepard in fourth place, and then Jim Downham here in fifth. Dale Power rounds out sixth. Bob Burlew in seventh. Lonnie Mixon in eighth. Tracy Wooten in ninth. And Andrew Bissonnette rounds up top 10. What's a good race. Sorry for the mix-up there, Dylan and Ty. I was scrolling too fast.
That's all right. You put Ty and Dylan together, and guess what? You got Ty Dylan, and it looks like Dylan ends up on first. So here we go. He slides it down in there, takes it up, and
I love
down
donuts.
in
Donuts.
all right. I believe. Do we have Dylan anywhere that we can talk to, Mister?
Well, we currently don't have him in Discord. If one of you two would like to send him a message through iRacing, see if maybe we can get him in here. The same would go for Ty Bostic, or
Ty Bostic.
if one of those two guys haven't left the session yet, maybe just we can make them aware if they want to jump over here. We'll certainly grab them and have a little chat with them. Otherwise, we do have others that we have available that we'll certainly chat with.
Absolutely. Doesn't look like our 1, 2, or 3 is in here, but we do have our 4th place finisher, which is Dana, which we'll see if we can get him down here. Actually, I can't do that.
Let's see. All right. We got Dana hopefully with us in the booth. You got us, Dana?
Yeah, I got you. Got me?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, good job tonight coming home with the top 5 after qualifying 9th. You're able to finish 4th, +5 on the night. We saw you battle quite a bit there with Jim and Biznett and Lonnie Mixon, for quite a while throughout the night. So, you want to tell us a little bit, break down the race from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning there, things were a little rough. I was just trying to be patient, sort of letting everybody settle in to where they could run their lines. And I'm pretty comfortable here. Had a lot of people teach me how to run some lines here and set the car up nice and loose. So as it progressed, the car kept good grip, kept loose. So I kept kind of picking away. I made one quick mistake in 3 and drove the entry and lost it a little, but regained it and brought it back. So still a top 5, so that's pretty good.
Absolutely. Congratulations on your top 5 finish. It should put you solid in the top 16 heading into the playoffs. Anything you got going for next week, or you feeling comfortable with the rest of the season for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out the league itself. I really enjoy these kind of cars. I ran in another league, did really well, and hoping to do the same thing here. And I know a couple of the guys here, so I'm pretty comfortable, but I kind of know who the big guns are, so I'm going to have to chase them down.
Yeah, pretty much got lucky tonight. They all went out a little bit early, so that kind of gave you a little bit of a jump start. But man, that was a heck of a run tonight. You gained some stage points. You gained points at the end. So solid run tonight. Good to see you out there, for sure.
Well, thank you very much. It's fun to be out here. I'm glad Brian brought me over here, and just enjoying it.
Absolutely, we're enjoying watching you too.
About to say it's Josh here, Dana. It's really enjoyable watching you run these races here at Tyler Daniels Racing, because you're doing it smoothly, you're doing it cleanly, and there's a lot to pick up on. So a lot of people do appreciate you being here, and it's fun to watch you run. So great finish tonight, bud.
Hey, well, thanks, Josh. I appreciate it. I really don't qualify well anywhere, anytime, in any car. So my game is in the long runs. I love racing without stages. So when we do this kind of racing, I seem to really excel at it. So I really enjoy this type of a league.
You did great. You made us proud. Thanks so much for joining us in the booth, and I hope you have a great night. I know I'll be talking to you soon.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll be talking to you soon. Hey, thank you guys. Got to thank Depp, for helping me out with this beautiful car tonight. My paints are always amazing, so I got to thank him and everybody watching, that supports the league. So thank you guys.
Absolutely, and thank you for coming out and supporting us as well. So glad to have you a part of TDR, and we hope to see you in the future out here. And good luck moving forward with the playoffs. And hopefully, we'll be talking to you again within the next few broadcasts here.
Hey, thank you. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
China.
Good to talk to somebody we really don't talk to all that much up here, and kind of get a different perspective out of what we see.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we want to try to chat with at least one, maybe two other people. It looks like our next best finisher would have been Jim Downham, so we can go ahead and grab the commander in chief, if you will.
Absolutely, I think I can move him down here. So, Mr. Jim, this is your brother. I'm not sure if you remember who I am.
Hey, brother, how you doing, bud?
Good. How are you, man? What a night you had! Holy crap! Why don't you walk us through the first couple of laps, and then you can talk us
do I
through that.
do I really need to relive that again?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You notice I didn't go below the yellow line after that, did you? For some reason, you get down below that yellow line and the car just hooks, and it just catches you off guard. Not just me, everybody was doing it, and we're doing a poll on who's staying above the line. The majority of the guys after the last big wreck, decided that staying above the line would be safe. So, but yeah, you've definitely got your attention. So, but
Absolutely.
yeah, so.
But you held on for fifth. I mean, and you ran what 85 laps during that last run. So I mean, you really had a good shot. I'm sure the track caught up to you. Tires finally caught up to you where you were able to run smooth. Did you back it down after you got spinning there and took out Lonnie, or?
No. I tried to run the consistent laps, and I was running between 27.5, 28-second laps, just trying to be consistent and trying to conserve on the tires. So, just trying to survive. There were some huge wrecks, and a lot of guys were out early, so. Yeah, it was a good points night, and we'll live to race another week.
Well, it's good to see you back. I'm glad. I know haven't been feeling too well, so
Yeah.
Definitely glad to see you back in the driver's seat, back out here racing these guys. And I'm sure it felt good tonight, especially now to running in, top 5.
Oh, yeah, it felt really good, and I want to thank everybody for their thoughts and prayers and the texts and all that good stuff in the last couple of weeks, and the admin team helping out where they could. And it's been a rough couple of weeks, but we're rebounding and we're doing okay.
Yeah, and it looks like TDR is doing quite well too. I see a lot of new winners popping up all over Facebook. I've seen you had a win. I see Bob Berlew got a win. I see Pete Trask got a win. I mean, Robert Trask. There's been a lot of older, newer faces showing back up in that victory lane. So there's definitely a lot of talent that stepped up in TDR since last time we spoke.
Yeah, no, I mean, the talent, like I said, the new guys coming in are astronomically strong. I don't know what other word to say. But you know what? They're good competitors. They're clean racers, and it's stepping up everybody else's games. And it's nice to see some of the old guys winning, like Trask and Bob Berlew won last night in the iconic race, and so it's been really good. You just come out and do your best you can, and these guys try to make you earn it and try to make you a little bit better because they're coming out and putting down laps like crazy numbers. So we just do the best we can to run with them. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I know you got a whole bunch of paperwork to do this week to try and figure out this point system. We talked about it a little bit in the beginning. Ethan touched on it.
Mm-hmm.
With people not able to show up. I believe there's a couple with health issues. Others have personal issues that aren't going to be able to run. Is that going to shake up anything in the point system that you know of right away?
No. I decided to keep the points the way they are, even though they're there, such as Brian Boyd and Dennis Devon. I know they definitely won't be back, but we're still going to count them in the top 16. They earned it. And so after I figure out the halfway challenge points and add the hard charger points, it'll be official. We'll move on to the playoffs.
And I think Ethan, correct me if I'm wrong. Was Ty Bostic out of the? He had a win, but Was he in the top 15?
Ty Bostic,
Ty
he's
Bostic was in the top 20.
yeah. Now he finished 17th. I mean, he's 17th in points right now, but I don't know as far as the stage wise. I believe if he did finish in the top 10, that he'll be in.
But
With the win, right?
he won a race, so he would
Oh,
leapfrog.
no, yeah, he won a race, so he'll be in. Yes, exactly. So the winners are in. So he is in, and then that
Okay.
would mean Cochran would be out. So I got to go
Okay.
through it all and see who else. It looks like that's the only one in the top 20 that's out of the top 16. So um, Ty's got 2 wins, so he definitely will be in, and Robert will be out
All
unless
right.
unless Robert got more bonus points than Mike Matherly, because there's only 2 points difference between
And,
15th and 16th. So yeah, we got a little work to do, and
oh.
I hope nobody audits my numbers, but
I was gonna say I was
And
curious.
bribes are always taken, right? Bribes are always taken.
Yeah, I was definitely curious because I'm looking at the points now and I see a 9 point gap between 15 and 16 on
okay,
iRacing.
yeah, I got 284 for Mike Matherly, 282 for
But again,
like
you've got bonus points probably that haven't been logged yet.
Award. Yeah.
correct. So we'll figure it out, and everybody resets at 0, the top 16 for next week, and we race for 2 weeks, and then from there, 12, and then 2 weeks, 8, and then 2 weeks, and then it's the final 4. So, but yeah, really good season, multiple winners in the next gen series. The guys coming on board are fast and can definitely wheel. So it's making everybody else step up on their game. That's all.
Absolutely. Well, that's what TDR is. We, like I said, we don't really focus on wins. We focus on racing because we
Correct.
are a racing family more than we are of anything. Um, even though we know who guys are fast, we know who basically who's going to be there every week. But man, tonight was just holy crap. Dylan put on a clinic tonight.
Yes.
I mean, that was one heck of a run. I mean, you got to give him props on that.
Yeah, I asked him. I said after the race, I asked him how many gallons he have left. He said 2 laps left, maybe 1 lap. So definitely the cautions, and because we were talking in Discord whether he has enough or not with all the cautions, we was like he's on the fence, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad to see he won tonight and did what he had to do, and my hats off to him.
Absolutely. All right, sir. Well, we're going to put you back down there so that you can enjoy the, your top 5. You can rub it into the guys down there. Down there. But Bob and actually, you know what? I'm going to bring, if you don't mind, Ethan. There's only 2 left up there. If you don't mind, I'm going to bring them both down here. I got Barbara Lou and Robert Cochran. If you don't mind, I'm going to bring them to the booth.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
okay. So here's Mr. Bob, and we're going to bring Robert here. See if we can move him down here. Oop, right. And there we go. So now we got Barbara Lou and Robert Cochran, who, congratulations, Robert, on a good run, and Barbara Lou on your 7th and win yesterday. So how are you guys doing tonight?
All right. Hanging in there.
As you can tell, these guys are Mr. Excitement. You can never tell when they're, not excited. So we're glad to have you up here in the booth. Say hi to everybody. Sister Sookie's out there. She's watching. Josh is out there. I don't think too many more people. Everybody else pretty much went to sleep. Jim put him to sleep with his math over there that he was trying to do.
That can happen.
So, how was your night tonight, Robert? You were good?
Well, it was good at the beginning. Then the car felt too good, and I got too confident, and I lost it. But it's Phoenix. Phoenix was tough for a lot of good people tonight, so we just got to ride it out.
Absolutely. Well, you came home at 11th. I mean, so you didn't do too bad. I did see you did follow Bob though, and tried to do a simulated slide of what he did. Was that to make him not feel so bad when he did it?
I probably. I was just trying to learn. I'm just trying to learn from a recent winner. And,
Right.
I can't
Yeah,
compete with
right.
Bob. Bob's good. And like you
Right.
said, I followed him most of the night until I slipped up there.
I
Oh.
tried to stay above that yellow line the whole time, and at one time I went down below it, I lost it.
Yep.
Don't worry, Jim did the same thing, and he took out
Oh.
Uncle Nani. So at least you guys kept it to yourself.
I'm proud of that. If I'm proud of anything, I'm glad I took myself out and no one else.
Right. So how was your night, Bob? Congratulations on your win yesterday. I mean, that was awesome to see you guys. That was some strong competition that you overcame, and then come out tonight and you had another top 10. So you're doing good up there.
Yeah, I'm doing the best I can, yeah.
Phoenix is his favorite track, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Josh, Ethan, got anything for the guys?
I mean, just obviously, I know, obviously incidents that you guys wish, didn't happen, but, props for still sticking it out and hanging in there. I know that, we had other guys that didn't do that, and it's not a, any, jab at those guys. I mean, they went through their fast repair. I mean, I don't blame them. They wouldn't have been able to really lag around at that point, but, still sticking through, what isn't the kind of night that you wanted to have in the first place. So, obviously glad to have guys like you here, that don't just run out when things don't go their way. So it's always nice, and, best of luck to you guys for competing in the playoffs, and be interesting to see what the points look like once Jim gets it and find out who's in, who's out. But it should be fun.
Without a doubt, it's good. It was. I would hate to bow out if things happen. I mean, look, Ryan Walters stayed in with it, and it's a good group of people to run with. So I wouldn't bail out.
Neither would I. I stayed till the end no matter what.
Yeah, Bob, you had some issues, and you came out, like I said, top 10. Cochran was knocking on top 10, and Jim ended up 5th after all the troubles. So, I mean, just hanging out there. I mean, you guys did pretty good tonight.
Yeah, Dad said never quit. Don't
That
don't
is
be a
true.
quitter.
No,
That
you
is-
got to keep pushing. You got to start what you finish. Or, you always
Exactly.
finish what you start. That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
All right, Ethan,
Commend
I
you
think we
guys
should
for going
wrap
through.
this up. And we should wrap this up, and I'll give you a final rundown of who finished where tonight. So tonight, obvious winner was Dylan Banks. Ty Bostic came in 2nd. Chuck McDonald 3rd. Dana Shepard 4th. Jim Downham 5th. Dale Power 6th. Bob Berlew 7th. Lonnie Mixon 8th. Tracy Wooten came in 9th. Andrew Bisnet finished 10th. Robert Cochran 11th. Les Benz 12th. Ryan Walter 13th. There were less cars that were running at the end of the race. The guys who left early were Jason Ricker, who had some trouble, Dale Weiser, Dustin Scruggs 16th, Will Weiser 17th, Mike Matherly 18th, Tyler Daniels 19th, and Gary Wright 20th. And that completes the field for this evening here from Phoenix, the final race of the regular season as we head to the playoffs next week. Ethan, why don't you go ahead and take us out?
All right, I want to thank everybody, of course, for being here that supports us for doing this. I want to thank you, Jay and Josh, for helping out and allowing me to, sometimes just be able to sit back a little bit more, and I can just focus on cameras while you guys, chatted away, and makes it a little bit easier sometimes than having to try to focus on so many things. So obviously I appreciate that, and try to continue to build on the broadcast team, like we've said plenty of times, and I'm sure we'll get there. Just it takes time, it takes effort, and again, we're all doing this out of our own pockets and our own time. So it's gonna take. Obviously, that means it's gonna take longer than if we were to just go out there and pay somebody to do it. So, but
Yep.
we're all out here trying to have fun, and we're playing a game. So. People come at me for calling it a game, but it's a game.
Yep.
And we appreciate everything you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
You're welcome.
and just throwing money at stuff like this always isn't the priority. So, but hey, I mean, if anybody wants to help us try to grow it, we're never going to come out and say, hey, donate to us or anything, but if somebody was to offer, we'll humbly accept it, but we're not the kind that's gonna go, searching for it, if you will. So,
Yep.
if that's something anyone's interested in, obviously that's there, but we're not gonna ask you for it.
Of course.
So, with that, we're gonna sign off and hope to see some people in the stream for some of the other events throughout the week. I know that it's probably going to be a lot slower of a month on the stream with the holidays, and we're taking breaks in TDR for certain things. Like Monday and Tuesday are kind of pretty low key right now in TDR. Just preparing for the holidays. We don't want to jump into a season, and as soon as we get started, we're kind of stopping again. So
Yep.
give people time to relax, get shopping done, spend time with family, all that jolly good stuff. So, take advantage of that time, obviously, and we'll see you on the stream when we are live. Really, the only event that I'm planning to do myself is probably the Xfinity race on Wednesday. I'm sure that we still have one this week, to my knowledge.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So, hopefully I'll be able to participate in that. I was trying to see what it even was. Let's see. December 6th, I think, Pocono. So, hopefully we'll be able to do that. And I'm sitting here starting to blabber at this point. So,
All right. Well,
everybody have a good night, and we'll see you when we see you, as they say.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you.
Yep. Appreciate it.
all right.
Safe, be well.